Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, March 9th, 2018. Welcome to another eBay video. As you can probably see, I've got snow, a lot of snow behind me. We had a very bad nor'easter on Wednesday, and what's unusual, it's probably the first time in my life we've ever had two nor'easters in less than 1 week. We had the one on Friday and we had one on Wednesday. The one on Wednesday was really bad. Heavy snow fell, gale force winds, and the problem with the snow, it was unusually wet and heavy, and it was landing on the tree limbs, causing the tree limbs to snap. That in turn was taking down power lines. A lot of people lost power in this area. A lot of highways were closed. It was very bad. Thankfully, Joe did not lose power. I do have a snowblower, as many of you have seen. However, it died as I was 75% through my driveway, so the rest of the driveway I had to shovel the old-fashioned way, and it was heavy, heavy snow. In other words, it was fitchy snow. Get it? Fitchy snow is heavy snow. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the following eBay topics. We're going to be discussing getting neutral and negative feedback removed that is baseless. We're going to be talking about several interesting return stories I think you guys will really be into and find enlightening. And of course, we're going to talk about your questions, comments, and concerns from last week's video. So let's get right into it right now. We're going to start off with a comment written by Rubber Wilbur. Joe, if a customer returns an item without going through the process of filling out a return or contacting me, I do to them exactly what they've done to me. I ignore them. I just chalk it up to someone sending me a free gift. Then that forces them to start communicating through eBay and sometimes accidentally disclosing it was buyer's remorse. If they don't contact me, I just put it back in my inventory. Sometimes I've gotten free items this way because too much time has elapsed for them. Then I block their butts. If they contact me through eBay and ask what is up, I ask them a lot of questions to get them to frame themselves as to why they're really returning it. I then force them to fill out a return request so I get my shipping back or 20% restocking fee, soon to be taken away by eBay. In a nutshell, I let them come to me. It's very important, like he said, to keep the conversation through eBay messages. If a person's dicking you over, let them say so through the eBay messages. Ask them questions. Was it the wrong size? Did you find a better price? Try and get them to say why they're returning the item. So that is very important. Picking for a cause wrote, "Oh no, Joe, there's no need to be sorry for the long video. Your videos are very informative and educational. I greatly appreciate it. I say no to free returns. Heck, I'm already offering free shipping. Just started to charge $5 to $8 for shipping on a few heavy items. I've heard you spoke about charging shipping, so I followed your footsteps, only to find out each time I relist the item, there's a message saying the item will not be eligible for fast and free label. Free shipping brings 11% more sales. Thank you very much. Come to California where the weather is better." I've been to Cali. I was there a couple of years ago, and you are so right. It's like night and day. You see, the sun is out now. This is the first time we have seen the sun in as long as I can remember. And if you doubt me, go back to my previous videos. I would sign for this every day. Okay, this is beautiful. 35 degrees. Yeah, there's a lot of snow on the ground and it's wet and nasty, but at least there's not a thick, gray, pendulous cloud cover. Purple Kyor wrote, "Joe, eBay is killing us. They're forcing sellers to have better return policies than most retail stores. If anything, they should offer us an additional 10% for offering free returns. Not take the discount away for not doing it. I sell figures, and any can range from $5 to $100. If someone buys one for $5 and wants to return it, if I offered free returns, I would just give them the money back because it wouldn't be worth it for me to take it back. I really am debating a career change. Even if I do, though, I'll still continue watching your videos. Keep up the awesome work. About that, I'm not telling you how to run your business, but I'm not a big proponent of selling cheap items on eBay. Like you mentioned, the $5 figurine, because the situation could arise, like you so stated, where the person wants to return it and it would cost you more to take it back. Therefore, I rarely ever sell anything less than $20. And in fact, most of my items are over $30. Matt's Vintage Video Games wrote, haven't commented in a while. I'll try and keep this short. I always love your videos, Joe, and long ones are even better. I look forward to them each week. So here's my take on things. I have been with eBay only since 2011. I started with one item and grew to over 2,500 active listings within 2 years. Then eBay started changing. Fees increased, shipping policies changed for the worse, and more people started returning items for no reason. I have always done my best to be the best on eBay. I strive to have good customer service, to pack well, ship on time, and do everything I'm supposed to do to be a good seller online. It seems as though each year there is something new that eBay does to us as sellers to make us more frustrated. I've went from 2,500 active listings to under 500, and it was done by choice. I do much better selling items in a flea market than I do selling on eBay. I'm sad to say that after all the time it took me to build up over 10,000 feedbacks, a little more than 6 years, I'm on the verge of giving eBay up. It seems pointless to sell items only to be expected to get them back if someone doesn't like it for one reason or another. I never used to get many returns. Now I get too many. Nothing has changed on my end. Sorry to rant on for so long. I would love to talk to you for hours about eBay policies. I have so much to share. But after 6 years, I'm sick of being frustrated with eBay policies. I believe that this may be the final nail in the coffin for me. I'm seriously considering pulling almost all of my listings and moving forward without eBay in my life. I have many reasons, but I would have to do a 4-hour video of my own in order to get the frustrations out. Thanks for listening to me, Joe. I appreciate you, my friend. Have a good one. All right, we got some good points in that comment, and I understand his pain. I get that because, as you know, I get a ton of returns myself, and we're going to talk about them later in the video. But there's one thing I'd like to point out, sir, and I don't know this. Aside from eBay, do you have a brick and mortar store or some other form of income? Because let me tell you something. Yes, there can be a lot of problems selling on eBay, and sometimes the returns piss me off. Some of the stupidity, the blatant stupidity, pisses me off. But I want to point this out to you, and this is something a lot of you guys don't grasp. As bad as eBay is on their worst day, working in a brick and mortar retail store is 10 times worse. Let me cite an example from the other day. I mean, this boggled my mind. I've told you stories about people coming in who bought items from other people wanting to trade them to me because the person they bought it from sold them the wrong size. So I had a guy call me the other day, and he says, Joe, I bought 4 hubcaps online. They don't seem to fit my rim. I'm having trouble getting them on. If I come over to your store, will you put them on for me? He wants me to work for some seller online who sold him something that may or may not fit his rim. He didn't buy from me, but he wants me to work. That is typical of the aggravation of a brick and mortar store. So I say to you, Matt's Vintage Video Games, I know what you're going through. I totally get it. But keep in mind, brick and mortar is 100% worse. I will now read a couple of comments from Robert Keyser. The first one is, not only are the sponsored links wrong, some of them show the phone numbers to call. This after us treasured sellers were required to remove all our contact info from our listings. Robert Keyser also wrote, there are sellers who use security seals with phone numbers, business cards next to the item. I used to make more eBay sales with my number available. eBay told us the new policy was due to sales being made off eBay. That's just what a sponsored link is doing. In last week's video, I showed you guys those links, those text links that were appearing after my item sold. And you guys ran a test, and every one of you guys came back and said you were noticing the same thing. Links are appearing, taking people off eBay after your items sell, and I think it's just plain disgusting. And I'm still going to try and get that policy to change. Troy Krieger wrote on the same topic, Joe, you need to look at your listings using the eBay phone app. The example of ads you showed were on an ended listing. However, if you look at your items using the eBay app, those ads are shown at the bottom of your live listing. Can you believe that? At the bottom of our live and current listings, there are ads, according to Mr. Troy Krieger, that are taking people off eBay so they can buy them elsewhere instead of on eBay. Disgusting. Gently Love Brands wrote, thank you, Joe, for pointing out the ads above sold listings. I sell mostly clothing, and I just checked. There it was, above my sold listings, advertisements for the same or very similar items. Never noticed this before. Neil Castell wrote, eBay just screwed everybody over with the China deal. These China sellers have an unfair advantage in regard to their shipping being paid for by the Chinese government. These China sellers need to be on their own domain so buyers can opt in and choose to go and buy from them. The China sellers, man, they're making it tough for everyone, and nobody wants to act on it. Skinny Cow wrote on the same topic, Fujian you refer to in China is a well-known province for sweatshops. Look up journalist articles about Fujian province and you will see slave-like labor practices, complete disregard for the International Labor Organization standards, deadly working conditions, and environmental destruction. This is where the likes of Walmart will source some of their cheap clothes and Apple will put together their iPhones. It makes sense eBay would want to get a foot in the door in these places like Fujian province. Low labor prices coupled with no safety standards make for cheap products that can be marked up by middlemen like eBay who make a killing off the back of workers living in poverty. Wooden Stuff with Steve French wrote, thanks for another interesting, informative video, Joe. It's sounding more and more like eBay itself is becoming the fishy one. Kat Galan wrote, thanks for another informative video, Joe. I noticed 4 viewers disliked your video. Who the hell would dislike the crazy New York driver? I'll tell you who, Fitchy buyers. Biz Hacks wrote, LOL, Fitchy buyer is a new term. Love it, Joe. King Core wrote in, a brilliant performance. The conservative presentation of wit and information appeals to my Methodist core, Joe. Thank you so much for your leadership and dedication. I'll read one last comment and then we'll get into today's video. And this comment was from Malword Manalabi. Wanted to keep this separate so it didn't get lost in my rant. You're doing a great job, Joe, and we appreciate the effort you make in these videos. Can't help but notice how a few other YouTube celebrities, eBay sellers, failed to mention on their YouTube channels how they were recently invited to eBay headquarters to receive presentations about the Spring 2018 seller update. Normally they fall all over themselves to brag about how they have some elite eBay connection, so therefore we should sign up for their mastermind group or buy their e-crap. Those same sellers have been putting out videos with strikingly similar talking points about how we should all just shut up and trust eBay like professionals. Thank you for not being one of those manipulative scumbags who take advantage of gullible and scared sellers in exchange for piddly kickbacks from eBay. Your videos are useful and honest. I look forward to watching them every week. Thank you for the upsell. As I said, I am an eBay fan. I do recommend people to sell on eBay, but when things come up from time to time that I feel are wrong, I'm going to talk about it. I don't know if you guys can hear that noise in the background. That's either somebody's snowblower. That's what I think it is. I think it's somebody's snowblower. I want to talk now about some good topics I think all of you guys will find interesting. Undeserved, neutral, and negative feedback and getting it removed. So the day we had the storm, which was Wednesday, I was home all day, of course, and I was macking eBay quite a bit, and all of a sudden I noticed I had a neutral feedback. It couldn't have been up there for more than 5 minutes. I'm not kidding you. So the feedback said something to the effect, I should have shopped around. I could have gotten a cheaper price elsewhere. Neutral feedback. That is an obvious case of buyer remorse, and I should not have been left a neutral feedback for that. So I called up eBay concierge, talked to a nice representative, showed them the feedback. They removed it immediately. Immediately removed the feedback. That was that. It was unwarranted and it was unjust. So if any of you guys get an unjust, neutral, or negative feedback complaining about the price you charged, or that kind of thing, it will be removed very quickly. Before we go on, may I please drink from the Fox News Cup of Life? I do drink from this every week, but occasionally some people don't catch it. Like somebody last week didn't catch it. Ah, very good. Very, very good. Continuing on, I want to talk to you guys about 3 separate returns that are very interesting. 2 of them are mine. 1 of them is somebody else's. On mine, do you remember last week I was telling you the story about the person who tried to pull a fast one by claiming the item was not as described, and eBay told me to go ahead and print the label and that they would reimburse me for that item? Well, let me give you an update on that. Guess what happened? Nothing. The guy never sent the item back. Now this is important because I want every one of you to stop and think about the ramifications of what I'm telling you. To rehash, the buyer bought an item scratched and blemished, as described, got the item, claimed he didn't like it, and wanted a refund. Okay, he wanted to return the item, and he did not want to pay return shipping. eBay told me to agree to that, which I did, and that they would reimburse me. So now, the buyer is given a free return label. All he has to do is send it back, and he chooses not to. Why? Answer: because he really didn't want to in the first place. In my opinion, he may have been trying to pull a fast one. I think, and this is only conjecture on my part, I think he thought I was going to say, well, the item was not that expensive, and it's going to cost me $24 to pay the shipping. Go ahead and keep the item. Does that sound plausible to you guys? Do you think maybe that's what the case was, because he never sent the items back? I called eBay, they closed the case, it's done, okay? Sound plausible? I have 2 more return stories to tell you, and they're a little bit long and involved, but I think they're worth talking about. You'll definitely enjoy them. In the past, I've told you that I can always tell when an item is going to come back, not by the buyer, not by their feedback, but by the item. That's something in eBay Motors I can spot right away. So let's go back to over a month ago. One night I got a ka-ching on my iPhone, a set of hubs sold. And the minute I looked at them, I knew it was going to be trouble, because it's what we call a dog item, something that never sells. Not more than 30 seconds after the item sold, I get a message from the buyer, and she says, I just bought these hubs for my daughter, and I'm not sure they're the right size. Would you hold them for me for 3 to 4 days before shipping them? You may remember I told you this part of the story. I wrote back and said, no way, I'm not holding anything. I'm a top-rated seller, and I must ship the very next day. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this sale. Do your homework first. And I said to her, I'm actually doing you a favor. because this size hub was only used on approximately 1 out of 500 cars that year. It's very unusual to have the upgraded 6-cylinder model. Okay? So she says, all right. She wrote back by giving me the unhappy face. Okay? The unhappy face. A day or two come by, the lady writes back to me. She says, Joe, I just checked. We do, in fact, have that size wheel on the car. I want to buy the items, relist them, and this time don't cancel the sale. Okay, I relisted them. When I relisted them, this item had been on the shelf for so long that it had a shipping fee of $10. That, of course, is unrealistic. I upped the shipping fee to $20, which is even still cheap, because it cost me $26 to ship them. But I kept the price of the item the same. So the lady buys the item and immediately writes back and says, why did you raise the price of the shipping? And I explained, the post office has raised their rates. The $10 shipping fee was unrealistic. Even with $20, I'm still going to have to pay $6 out of my pocket. Okay, so I shipped the items. I accept returns 30 days. But no questions asked. I swear to Christ, on the 28th day she writes to me and says, I need to return these, they're the wrong size. After all that, after me telling her twice to check her wheel size, canceling the listing, doing everything I'm supposed to do, she still bought the wrong size. Can you believe that? Can you freaking believe that? You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. That is just appalling. That is just absolutely appalling. Another return story I would like to discuss happened to somebody on one of the Facebook groups, but I find it very interesting and I want to relate it to you. And it's also from eBay Motors. So this guy sold a brand new master cylinder. You guys probably don't know what a master cylinder is, but it's about this big, all right? It has a cap on top, sometimes two, but usually one, unless it's the old school type with the flip over and you open it that way, and you put your brake fluid in there. It's hooked up to your brake system, and they go bad. I've had them go bad on my Caddy. So this guy sold a brand new master cylinder. Let's just say it was $175. The customer gets it and then contacts the seller and says, listen, I bought the wrong master cylinder. I want to return it. Will you take it back? Yeah, okay. He gets it back, and the master cylinder is full of brake fluid. The customer actually tried to put it on his car and put brake fluid in it. So obviously it's no longer brand new. It's not in the condition it was sent in. So the seller attempts to fight the return, saying this was not sent back in the condition that it was sent in. It's no longer brand new. The customer used it. What do you think eBay decided? Anybody? Does anybody out there want to take a guess? Well, I don't hear any guesses, so I'm just going to stop doing this video. I want to hear somebody say something right now. Just yell it out. Okay, there. Finally, somebody spoke up. eBay sided with the customer and insisted they get a full refund. And when the gentleman, the seller, explained to them that it was sent back with brake fluid in it, no longer brand new, not in the condition it was sent in, eBay basically said to him, from time to time, deals are going to go bad, and this is what happens when you're selling online. You just have to chalk it up to a loss. This is consistent with policies online. So this guy, in my opinion, got a bad deal. What do you guys think about the story with the master cylinder? Do you think eBay should have stepped in and at least let him offer a partial refund instead of the full $175? Because the thing is no longer brand new. It was sent back with brake fluid in it. I'm curious to see what your opinion is on that. So if you would, let me know on that too. On Thursday night, I went to New York City to a meetup, an eBay meetup with Brian Burke from eBay. And I'd like to do a short cutaway now and show you guys what transpired at the meetup. Hey guys, it's March 8th. I'm here with Brian Burke, Director of Community Development at eBay. And I'm sure you'd rather hear what Brian Burke has to say other than what I have to say. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian.
Joe, thanks. Great to be in New York. Love it. I'm glad I missed all the snow. Here, had a wonderful meetup with the New York e-commerce group with Kathy Terrell and Joe and others, and excited about the direction we're headed with the marketplace. We made some big announcements last week around product development and how the experience on the site's going to change, better for the buyer, better for the seller. So if you haven't checked out eBay lately, come back and check it out. And if you're on eBay, please make sure you check out the seller update and let us know what you think about the upcoming changes.
Very good. And I'd like to thank you for coming all the way to New York City to visit with us, Brian.
I love it.
This is the kind of service, listen to me, this is what eBay does for its sellers. You don't see this at Amazon. Amazon won't send anybody at all to help you out. I'm just telling you the facts. Any last words for the community, Brian?
No, just keep us on our toes. Let us know what we can do to improve the site. We're here for you guys, both on the buy side and the sell side. Love to come to New York. Love to come to other cities to meet sellers and see all the impassioned selling that's going on our platform. And thank you, Joe, for having me.
It's my pleasure, Brian. You heard, folks. Go to your local seller meetups. Every state has them. If you're not sure, you can check out Facebook. Facebook has so many selling communities to help eBay sellers. Thanks for watching. Let's get back to the regular video right now. Guys, let's do a quick rehash right now. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns on any of the topics I covered, please address them in the comment section below, whether it be returns, getting neutral negative feedback removed, unfair returns, or anything you want to talk about, as long as it's eBay related. Also, keep in mind a few things. These are very important, but most of you know it anyway. I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks for watching. Each week I come out here and I do these eBay videos to try and help you. If you guys like what I'm doing, if you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up in the comment section below, because it means a lot to me. It tells me I'm doing a good job and that the message is getting out there. Also, if you don't realize it right now, I've got water dripping on me from the gutter on top of me. If I didn't do a good job in your opinion, please comment what you'd like me to address and I will try and get to it next week. I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind, and I'm still making money online. Hopefully next week when I come back, the snow will be melted. But believe it or not, they're saying we have a chance of yet another one of these storms Sunday night into Monday, but it's not been confirmed yet. I think maybe I will go out to California, because this is beat. Thanks for watching, guys. Rock on. Make some eBay sales. Don't be fitchy. And peace. Yeah. Don't be fitchy. That's a new tagline, I think. Note to self. New tagline. Don't be fitchy.